Welcome back, you filthy gits, to Grom de Paunch's Cauldron Stuffin' campaign. The boys welcome you back to Massive Gut, which has been renamed from Massive Orcal because the big boss doesn't really like all the references to the orcs because he's a goblin, and he's got a massive gut, so we renamed it. Anyway, hope you all are excited for some more cinematic Grom campaign. I know I am. A few other things that I did in honor of you gits who decided to address his immensity in the comments. Please continue to give his immensity suggestions in the comments. It is appreciated a great deal. So we have renamed Kinel to De Paunch's Peasant Pot, which was probably one of the most hilarious names I've seen. And then I kind of combined a couple of other suggested names that were highly sought after, and Paravon has been renamed to De Tittlemunch's Lair, because she was smacking the last gits there with her nasty sack of river fish. So, as far as other things that were done in honor of the comments, just a real quick, we do have the Nibbletiers, which is one of our Gobbo units, and we've also got the Scrappa Scouts, which was request from the viewers, and we've also got the Kraken Wagons. So feel free, get in the comments if you see something that you think would be good for the gits here in the campaign. Upvote it, leave a comment, tell his immensity what you think. The Great Gut is always looking for suggestions. Now, speaking of suggestions, there is this git up here in the mountains, Skarsnik, and we're going to take the scrap to him. And we're going to bring these goblins into submission. This will actually be kind of cool because it'll be kind of like, all right, I got to get out of the green skin talk here. I can't do it the whole time. This will be cool because I believe in the lore, Grom a lot of times had to subdue other goblins and bring other orc tribes and everything into the WA, so we'll go do that. If we go defeat Skarsnik, I believe we will get to kind of Norska style confederate him, and so that would be the best move, I think. Anyway, we're going to get ready to end our turn here. We've been able to issue a commandment to all the gits that we took over. The cauldron has been filled with peasants, and Tittlemunch's lair is under new ownership.
Big as an orc.
He is as big as an orc. This is true. He is one big paunch.
Whole world's gonna be Grom.
I'm gonna sling underground here and recruit some more gobbos into the stack before we head up and teach Skarsnik a lesson about who's the biggest and the fattest gobbo. I'm gonna go ahead and build up this heap of shiny stuff. We're gonna need it. Finished some big thinkin. The gobbo crackdown is complete, and it's time to egg them on. This will give the gobbos 5% physical resistance and faster replenishment rate so that the scrap and the wah can build faster. Well, looky here, boys. After a turn in, we've got a new gobbo big boss ready to join the boys and smashing our enemies. So we're gonna embed this big boss into the army. We've only got a few slots left for those who are ready to join the WA. I may have to replace some of these frontline gobbos with some night gobbos. I've actually been saving some piles of shiny stuff with just that end in mind. Though I am going to spend a bit of shiny stuff here on a totem pole. And we need to make our way back over here to Tittlemunch's lair to put down an uprising of angry gits who need to be reminded that there's a new boss in town. On the next turn, Grom went under the mountain, and he's ready to get some more horse meat off of these peasants. It's being offered, and the cauldron, I guess, is getting a bit empty. The boys is hungry. He's very hungry. We need more shiny stuff if we're gonna do some more buildings. So I think we're gonna end this turn and then take out these peasant offerings. Alright, boys, we've got supper. I don't know that this is really worth the full attention of the great fat one. So we'll just automatically place these peasants into the cauldron. They be tasty. Back at Massive Gut, we could use the funds gathered there to make some important upgrades. Oh, opening up the avenues to more pump wagons does sound fantastic. We don't need orc shamans, but goblin shamans may be appreciated. Let's think about our next move here.
Grom does it again.
We definitely need to improve Tittlemunch's lair. I was about to recruit more goblins, but I think that I think we should just head up and work on taking care of Skarsnik before anything happens and we don't get a chance to put that git under our boot. I feel like that's going to be the most important thing we do here. Now, Paunch has picked up another skill point, and he has many skills, not the least of which is eating immense amounts of food. Let's see what we've got here. Bellower gives him an aura size increase. Let's kind of do some planning here. His Great Immensity unlocks at 12, which then we can use to do Culinary Curmudgeon, which would be fantastic. Gargantuan Glutton, Chariot Races, Boisterous Shakedown, and Roll 'em Over. Lots of good stuff here, lots of good stuff. Big lads. Let's hit Route Marcher and see if there's anything down here we need in the blue tree for the current time. We definitely want this goblin big boss to be better at scrapping, and by the way, he needs a name. You all need to submit your names to his immensity via the comments. Please don't forget to do so. I definitely want your feedback on it. Do we have to... I think we have to end a turn, yeah, because we've used just a little bit of our movement points. Let's end the turn here so I can put a few public order points back into this pile of peasant crap. And then, let's see here. Scrap upgrades for the snotling wagon. I think I'm just going to give it a bonus versus infantry. The physical resistance is cool, but I really want it to just be stomping more of our enemies. Better scrapping is just better. There be some wondering gits. We're going to allow this migration. We need more gits to join Dawa and build up our newfound settlements. We're going to start doing some scouting up into Grey Mountains and find this git Skarsnik and take him out. Not really sure where he's at the moment, but we will locate him and we will convince him that he should join the cause. We're going to build a boss tent here, spread some extra obedience, make sure people are paying attention to the right big boss. Now, as we can see here, Skarsnik is already proving that he's not up to the task. His immensity is here, and you can see Skarsnik at strength level 138 and only one settlement for his miserly horde. I've yet to spot him, if he is out here anywhere. So I don't know where he's at the moment. We're going to continue to look around, see if we can find him, little rascal, and bring him under control. We've got an opportunity here to upgrade Defishy Tittlemuncha, and we're going to add on, I believe, Purple Sun, followed by Fate of Buna. Give her the capability to really start putting some damage on our enemies. And we're going to go for this no complaining here, because the boss is tired of complaining. The Great Gut ought to be enough to inspire those around him, and we don't want any more gits whining and complaining. But that wasn't a real smart move. Eben von Leibwitz just decided that he wanted the Wa to destroy the Empire. I mean, it was going to happen sooner or later. Well, the Crooked Moon gits must have been defeated in a battle. They are trying to rebuild a Wa, and it's a pretty pathetic one at that. But if we wait, we might be able to find Skarsnik in that stack, take him out, and force a confederation. So we're going to wait on it. All the while, we'll do some improving on things back home. See that the obedience is helping and allowing things to kind of stay somewhat positive. We are going to need some defenses. at our different locations, and since we're not recruiting anytime in the next couple of turns, let's build those defenses first.
You got Grom's way. Get out of it, or else.
Look at these gits. I'll declare them war on me. I'd love to see you sail over here and do something about it, you pointy ears. Come have a proper scrap. I'd like to see it. Well, there be a new army here, Furt and Morgless Backstab, neither of which is the gobbo we're looking for. So we're gonna wait yet still, try and be patient, and pick up an opportunity to confederate these folks. Feel like it's an appropriate step along our journey. We need a bigger pile of shiny stuff. We just can't get enough shiny stuff, honestly, at the moment. And our big boss has a skill point. See what he needs next. Bloody Blade gave him more damage, and now he's going to make him more precise, because more damage, more scrapping, makes Gork happy. Or Mork. I can't remember which one's which. I thought I had put scrap upgrades on these gobbos. I'm almost certain I did, and it now appears gone. Maybe not. But I was pretty certain that I had put scrap upgrades on these gobbo archers. I may replace them with night goblin archers soon enough anyway, so I guess we'll just hold off, but that is odd. I thought I had put the heavy ammo upgrades there. Perhaps I was mistaken and thinking of a different opportunity. Another turn ended, and still no sign of Skarsnik the Git, even though there's 3 different armies that he's raised around him. We'll have to continue to keep an eye on the situation. But the lads are definitely wanting some fighting, and I'm getting antsy myself, kind of getting frustrated having to wait this long for some action. Let's wait it out one more turn though, but the boss is losing his patience. Well, there's still a distinct absence of Skarsnik up here, but some man-gits have decided to make their way over. And they wish to be part of the cauldron, and I wish to make them part of it. We're going to give them an opportunity for that to be the case here. But we're definitely going to sod it. We don't care about our relations with Crooked Moon. There's other ways that we make relationships work, and it's through a proper scrap. And you can see the Wissenlinders here offering themselves up to Grom's cauldron, and happy to put them there. Eben von Liebwitz, who will from here on be known as Eben von Liebgitz, or Leedsgitz, either one. Eben von Leedsgitz is pretty good, because here's an army of Gits brought before Grom the Paunch. The best part is that these Gits don't even know that they've been invited for supper, and you'll see what I mean. Now, Eben, to his great enormity of tactical prowess, ordered his artillery to fire at Defishy Tittlemuncha for 8 minutes, causing little if any damage that was shortly thereafter healed, allowing Grom's Wa to approach the choke point unassailed by the Humi artillery, and allowing Defishy Tittlemuncha to give them that ammunition back in magic form, just much more destructive than the Yumis were able to accomplish themselves, disrupting their lines right before being charged by the greatest, his immensity, the fat one, the boss gut, Grom the Paunch. Look at the momentum. You ever seen a Goblin King with such momentum? Of course you haven't. And you never will. What's that? A rogue idol? Yes, that too. So Grom is hacking his way through enemy lines. The goblins are here. And old Blacktooth, the Macho Man Savage idol, is here. I think we need to name this idol Blacktooth's Revenge if we could name it, but we can't actually put a name on it. I don't know. Maybe you all can think of something even better. But this episode is going to start out with an absolute owning of Eben von Leeds gitz. But the good news is, boys, meat is back on the menu. Man flesh aplenty for Grom and all the boys tonight. The choke point at the Battle of Le Maisenthal Abbey turned against itself, flipped on its head into an absolute slaughter, and in a matter of moments, Eben von Leeds gitz and his gitz are fleeing. Indeed they will do. A nice snack. Thank you, Eben von Leibwitz. It was a pleasure eating you.
Grom de Paunch!
De Paunch thanks you for helping him complete a quest and getting more shiny stuff, and no doubt picking up some stanky leftover parts for the Tittlemunch's sack. Should be a lot of fun. We have completed yet another quest there too, for the Axe of Grom. So now it's just killing as many gitz as possible. Which it looks like there's some offering themselves still. Don't mind if we do.
There's good. There Grom goes.
Oh, now we have access to potentially get the axe. The Axe of Grom. Excellent. Excellent, you might say. We will try and take care of that on the next turn, and with the spoils of war, we'll build up a few things. You know, might as well use what these gitz gave us. Got lots of Rydas here. Really want squig Rydas. I mean, these gobos isn't bad, but just something about the squig Rydas that would be particularly fun. Oof, the Arachnarok though. For now, I'll just hold off. Get some more obedience for the lads, so they're not constantly thinking about other bosses. Nor should they. They'll be crushed under the immensity of the gut for doing so. I think Dodgy Geezer kind of makes sense here. But we've also got some important stuff down here as well. Let's go ahead and get Dodgy Geezer. It's not going to hurt to have missile resistance on the boss. He is a rather large target. And we'll grab the Theta Buna here as well. Give us some extra tools in the Tittlemunch's sack for dealing with our enemies. Let's not grab the wolf. Let's just wait and go straight to Spider at rank 8. But we've got the weapon damage on our boss. He's got a proper stabber, and he is ready for some stabbing.
Told you we'd win, boys.
Take a look through some of our upgrades here and see what it is that we need. Scrap upgrades for spider riders. Wolf breeding. Let's do this no infighting so we can unlock some more big thinkin that could affect our goblin units for Grom. Now, a Wa is ready, but we've got to have the right target for the Wa. And at the moment, I don't really see a target worthy of the Wa. So we will choose one. In fact, I want you all to address his immensity in the comments and decide where we're going to focus this Wa. Castle, Carcassonne, the pointy ears, the human gitz, the peasant gitz. Yeah, help me come up with some ideas for his immensity. Speaking of his immensity, let's go see if we can find Cousin Skarsnik.
Who needs stabbing?
Still don't see him.
We like an uninvited guest, don't we?
Yeah, still no sign of the Gitz Skarsnik. To keep our eyes peeled for him, because as soon as we find him, he's gonna be joining, or he's gonna get his head sat on. Looky here, some pointy-eared Gitz did sail across the sea, and they want a piece of me. They want a piece of the boss here. We'll give it to him. The Paunch's peasant pot will be avenged. Alright, we're gonna cook something up for the boys to help them in the upcoming battle. I think we'll make some more awful sausage. Should be perfect, potentially, for what we need here. Banners hang on. Shroom and awful sausage. Regeneration for night goblins. Yeah. Yeah, this is looking good. Let's start cooking.
Stir it, scrape it, bake it.
Some more awful sausage for the boys.
The goblin king.
And we're gonna go get these pointy ears. They say it's impossible. Everything is possible.
You need it.
Through Grom.
Ready for bossing.
Now I gotta hand it to these pointy ears. I didn't expect them to come face me in combat. Though they will live to regret it. These is no ordinary gobos.
Grom's gonna conquer these gitz.
Sarah, the Princess of Kothik, called into service by Eltharion, the Grim Warden, and sent to war against Grom. Obviously, Eltharion has bad memories of what happened to Tor of Rest previously, and is calling upon others to do his work for him, such as Sarah, and she answered his call. She is a brave elf, and has been known as such to her peers all throughout Ulthuan. She made the journey across the ocean, landed on the shores of Bretonnia, marched through the land of the peasants, and faced off against Grom de Paunch. And she regretted it ever after. Her Silverin Guard does manage to stop the charge of mighty Grom, but only for a second. And it's more of a ploy than anything else. As the guards pile up on Grom, the goblin archers will return the arrows that had been delivered by the elves, and will return them in plentiful numbers. The elves came prepared to fight goblins, but these aren't any goblins. The goblins were regenerating and fighting with a ferocity that they had never seen before, accompanied by spiky rollers. And the Silverin Guard, who thought that they were going to best Grom, were being decapitated and turned into a pincushion rather quickly. All of a sudden, before the elves knew it, a great stinking river troll hag broke through the lines and summoned a giant road eagle while dropping an enormous vortex all over their sea guard. And suddenly the battle, which was holding rather even, turned very against the elves as hundreds of them died in the first clap of the stone hands of the rogue idol. To add insult to injury, the great river troll hag came and started flaying the elves with a giant bag of stinking carrion. It's awesome, folks. Grom is the greatest. His Wa is the greatest. His goblins are the greatest. The elves sailed across the sea, and now they'll sail back across the sea, the survivors, with Sarah's head on a silver platter and a note from Grom to the Grim Warden that says, "You." We all knew these pompous pointiers weren't ready for a scrap with the great gut, and it was proven. And now, guess what? We's eating pointy ears tonight. Pointy ears in the cauldron. Indeed it is. And stomp more elves we shall. These pointy ears have learned an important lesson. When a settlement be named de Paunch's Peasant Pot, you don't step in to the pot unless you want to get eaten. And they were eaten. So de Paunch's Peasant Pot is retaken for the boys. We'll have to repair the damage done by the filthy elf interlopers, and then we'll go back looking to see if we can find ourselves some Skarsnik to tame.
The immensity!
He is immense. He is amazing. He is Grom de Paunch. Looting settlements. Come from raiding. I'm more interested if we were to get money from just after battle, like, ooh, Goblin Tide. Oh my gosh. I didn't notice this earlier. Oh my, yes, Goblin Tide. And then look at this here. Coming back. -7 leadership for elven units in the local region. Oh yes. Yes indeed. The goblin tide is becoming very real, folks. Just look at the attack and armor on these gobos. It's going to be a big problem for anybody who stands in the way of the Paunch. Time to pick a new skill for the Tittlemuncha. We need more magic reserves, and we need more purple sun. It's proven very effective against our foes. Very effective indeed. And we'll get Ambusher for our Gobbo Big Boss and make him a better stabber. Command the Gitz to be obedient once again. Well, this is perfect. The hag merchant is spotted nearby us, so let's go shopping, boys.
Gobbo Warlord!
We can buy a goldfish. I do not want the cooking challenge or the surprise because I'm in the process of, and I don't know that we need to rob her at the moment. Be happy to buy the goldfish. Let's see what we've purchased from the shop here. Extra income, extra obedience. Not a bad dish, should we need to be helping to put down some rebellious thoughts against the Great Gut. So our grocery shopping looks to be quite successful. Now, there could be more pointy ears moving in from across the sea, but we's not going to sit around. We know what happens to pointy ears who move in while I'm gone. We're going to go looking for that Skarsnik fella again. We can unlock the arcane conduit for the Tittlemuncha, which is perfect. So she can now really feast on the winds of magic. Our big thinkin has been completed. We could do wolf breeding, but I don't need that at the moment. I'm going to get these Ely mushrooms. Be great in the cauldron and help our army replenish faster so the war can continue. And since I'm not able to recruit any night goblins at the moment, well, actually, we'll wait. Recruit the night goblins. I'm going to save the scrap for the night gobbo archers. Despite my best searching, I've yet to spot Skarsnik.
For breakfast.
He must be getting defeated and making it hard to be found. Some peasants are raiding the Paunch's pot, and this disturbs me greatly. They may become the recipient of my wa. Just out of anger. Oh, the boss would prefer that you all pick the wa, and we can execute said wa on the next episode. But we'll wait and see. There is some upgrades that we could make to the massive gut. And I think we will. Our giant spider for the big boss is ready. Well, if the peasants is gonna raid me, I think I'm gonna sit here and raid some Skarsnik until the Git comes to show himself. So, raiding underway. Let's build some defenses at the peasant's pot. Well, Skarsnik the Git continues to hide, and meanwhile, Tittlemuncha's lair is being threatened by someone that we've already had a nice taste of. He's back. He's brought more Daka. He thinks that it will save him. It won't. Not in any form and in any way. He's gonna grab the Moon Howlers, bring them into our army to help munch the enemy artillery, and get ready to wreck some more Yumis. Alright, it's time to smash these Yumis. Give them what for raiding the Paunch's land.
Another day, another.
Folks, against any better judgment, Eben von Leedsgitz got a whole nother army together to come back and face Grom the Paunch. Some say it was the insanity, the utter dementia left upon him from the grotesque nature of the first battle and his defeat. He had almost a strange fetish, a desire to see his men be fed to the great Grom. Maybe it was the power, or the size of Grom's gut, its own gravity well, perhaps, pulling on his brain and causing him to come back to the exact same spot and follow the exact same strategy, where his artillery spent the first 10 minutes wasting all their ammunition onto Fishy Tittlemuncha, who took almost no damage, and in return uses the power of old Blacktooth to unleash an unreal purple sun vortex all over his troops, causing hundreds of deaths before arms were even drawn into combat. Von Leed's Gitz had once again been drawn right back in to the Grom's waiting arms. And here comes Blacktooth's revenge, right on cue, to begin what is obviously going to be yet another mass rout of Wissenland. Hopefully Karl Franz is paying attention. In the not-so-distant future, there could be a WA with his name on it. This very much could look like his troops in battle. You gotta love the fact that the Humies are already fleeing before the might of goblins. This is fantastic. Never played a campaign before where the goblins were so powerful, and it is really entertaining. Grom's cauldron will again be filled to a point of overflowing with man flesh. Awful sausage is obviously still going to be on the menu, but as we unlock ingredients, more and more delectable and disgusting meals will fuel this carnage further. Eben von Leedsgitz will neither be the first nor the last Humie to offer up his men as sacrifices to the great Grom's cauldron. As his men flee the battlefield, I guess in a portent of things to come for the rest of the world of men. So it sure was kind of these gits to visit for supper. They were delicious. Fantastic guest. Really fantastic. You know, we could give that fire resistance to any of our goblins who, all of them have regenerate right now. So it would take away that fire weakness that would be natural with the regeneration cape.
Whole world's gonna be drums, big as an orc.
All right, well, that puts an end to that real quick. I kind of wonder if Carcassonne is wanting to keep up this rating. I really want to find Skarsnik. That was really my purpose in this episode, is to get Skarsnik converted to the cause. I'm going to be really frustrated if he goes AWOL on us and doesn't show up at all. It's going to be pretty irritating. And when I find him, I'm going to pull his teeth out. No doubt about it. The teeth are coming out. Scrap upgrades for Night Gobbos, Night Gobbo Archers, Night Goblin Fanatics. Yeah, this all seems pretty important. It's going to take a fair bit of my scrap, but let's do it.
Orc Slayer.
Let's do it. Ah, good. We can unlock his great immensity. So now all of our goblins, if they weren't strong enough, are going to have 9 more leadership. Fantastic. Now it's just a question of what next. Chariot races. Magic item. Oh my goodness. 20% post-battle loot. A boisterous shakedown. Yes, please. I'll have that one. One of those. Let's drop the cost of Purple Sun as much as possible, because it's a spell we're obviously going to need to be well acquainted with in battle. And then as for our Gobbo Big Boss, we'll give him Slippery there, give him some defense and speed on his Spider. I'm going to wait to build this just in case the Humie Gits down here decide to attack me after I've spent a bunch of money. Well, they still raid into pot, and yeah, the Big Boss don't take kindly to that. So Carcassonne is going to be the recipient of my first WA. I kept saying I want you all to choose. Don't worry, there'll be more WAs. The boss will have your input on future WAs. In fact, make sure you leave that input. But I is mad now.
Green tidal wave of destruction crests, ready to sweep over your ill-fated victims.
It's not going to be much of a trophy.
Choose your mark, and a trophy shall await you in their capital to claim once it is razed or occupied.
Yeah, it's not gonna be much of a trophy. In fact, I mean, kind of wondering whether it's really worth our time. I mean, I really want to unleash the WA on them, just to make them pay. And I guess we could use that WA army for a while afterwards to get some more of these Bretonnian gitz. So it won't be totally useless. But our trophy is determined on the target that we pick. Let's see, 28 was a, hang on, let's go back. Cancel. Okay, faction strength. So we would get the biggest trophy for this one. There's no one around us that provides the biggest trophy. We would have to declare that on these pointy ears over here. But they're out of range. What was our missions here? Call to WA, we get the Lucky Banner. Axe of Grom, real axe. You know, we haven't fought for the Axe of Grom yet either. Hang on, let's cancel this. And let's go fight for the axe.
Unkillable Grom.
Gitz Guzzler. Git Guzzler? Yeah, he's going down.
Grom's gonna conquer these. I've had enough chin-wagging with this git. He's been hiding out here, bragging about how big he is. All just rumors. He's nothing. Look at his stupid axe. He's trying to make himself look bigger. Oh, he'll be even shorter once I cut him down to size and take back my axe. The lad's been saying they've seen some other gobbos skulking round here too. Best keep our eyes open. Guzzler's gonna get guzzled. There's only one king of the gobbos, and that's me!
Git Guzzler, the goblin who thinks that he's the biggest and the greatest war boss, stands across from Grom, his night goblin archers already opening fire. We'll see who's the goblin boss, who is the real goblin boss when this is all said and done. Git Guzzler's river trolls immediately charge Grom's troops, but Grom's goblins have bonus versus large because Grom is large. Very large. You can see Git Guzzler attempting to be large, but certainly is no Grom. Trolls on troll, troll on troll action. Some giant action as well, but the giant will be absorbing hundreds of goblin arrows as he becomes the target of their affection. Goblins clashing with goblins, and Grom has an opportunity to prove that he is the greatest and indeed the warlord of all the goblins. And Git Guzzler's army is near immediately driven to retreat through the center, and the flanks won't hold that much longer. The pressure of old Blacktooth's revenge here causing quite a problem as he inflicts massive damage to even the greatest and strongest units of Git Guzzler's army. You can see the fishy Tittlemuncha knocking out all these wannabe river trolls, as she is the real river troll hag. The one-on-one duel here between Git Guzzler and Grom, you all can imagine how this is going. Certainly in Grom's favor. Niblet has been feeding him a steady supply of giant meat legs throughout the battle, and Grom's power just continues to grow. Now, Defishy Tittlemunch's cousin, the wannabe river troll hag, has found herself surrounded by Grom's goblins and under heavy attack, forced to flee from the battlefield. Now, a quick overhead view will show us that reinforcements were headed in to try and back up Git Guzzler, but those reinforcements are soon to be cut off by goblins who recognize the true nature of Grom and have charged in on his behalf with their squig hoppers. These goblin squig hoppers will block the retreat of Git Guzzler and bring him to justice. With the rest of his forces being mauled and destroyed, he receives pretty much the same fate at the hand of all these squigs. In fact, there's even another goblin war boss who knows to follow Grom, who's on his way to ensure that Git Guzzler gets destroyed. You know how goblins will sometimes say, "I'd rather eat a squig"? Well, this time, the squig would rather eat them. Git Guzzler is utterly destroyed, and Grom has destroyed the remnants of his forces. But another goblin marches against Grom. Skarsnik and Gobla, marching in with an Arachnarok spider and nasty skulkers, hoping to reinforce Git Guzzler's forces. But they ventured out far too late if they were to hope to hit me in the flank with their schemes while busy with the forces of Git Guzzler, because Git Guzzler's forces just could not hold the line long enough and were utterly destroyed, and rather quickly. This will leave the skulkers of Skarsnik facing off against a true goblin warlord, whose insatiable desire for scrappin' has yet to be filled, and never will. The mightiest goblins of Grom once again crashing with their brethren, and will have an opportunity to prove their superiority. We is the best. We is the best, and we're gonna stab them. The great Arachnarok spider suffers the same fate as the giant did. And Skarsnik and Gobla didn't even come forward to join the battle lines before the battle lines collapsed and came to them. It looks like the great Axe of Grom will soon be back in his hands, as Skarsnik and Gobla are driven from the battlefield in a rather embarrassing manner, their forces barely even slowing the advance of his great immensity's momentum. And that, folks, shows you who the best goblin boss is. Now we just need to find Skarsnik on the campaign map and subdue him. But he won't show his face, and I guess this shows you why he won't show his face. Who can blame him? Poor Git got absolutely trounced. Well, old Git Guzzler needs to get good.
Bit scrawny, but they'll do.
Agreed. The Axe of Grom is ours, so it imbues armor sundering. Love it. Absolutely love it. Gives them a huge bonus versus infantry and a lot more armor-piercing weapon damage. So that is going to be pretty handy, and we've discovered, looks like several new ingredients. Ooh, very nice. We can get cooking. Get it? Get cooking? All the get, yeah, I know. It's bad. Let's see what we got. Harpy heads, ammunition for goblins and night goblins, and harpy teeth ammunition. Increased number of projectiles. Oh, that's gonna be good. Eagle sight ammunition. Anti-infantry for all goblin missile units. Oh my gosh. And then wing leather, hollow bone ammunition, which is anti-large. Oh my goodness. This is gonna be so much fun. Oh, the cauldron of goodness. Boys, we got more than just awful sausage these days. We got all kinds of options for our goblins. Our goblins will be of such renown that the world has never known nor seen, nor ever will. It is good stuff. Good stuff. I'm gonna get culinary curmudgeon because we're about to be doing some cooking. I'm gonna be cooking a whole lot of these gits. Let's get Earthing, Fate of Buna. And for our Gobbo Big Boss, definitely survivalist. Get him as many hit points as we can. So, the Great Paunch has taken back his axe. And speaking of, where is old Skarsnik here?
The Goblin King never looked.
Have I been trying to beat him down? And no, he's not going to confederate. Oh, look, his strength rate is up higher than ours. Now, this is interesting. Has he gained any territory? No, it's still the same territory. He's just trained a couple armies. Well, if that Git has an army, then he better be ready to fight us. So we've been looking for a scrap with him for a long time. Now, that said, I'm going to go escort these carcasses of Carcassonne out of our land. I'm sure that they'll choose to leave when they see his immensity approaching. Most who have any intelligence would. Not that we were ever accusing these peasants of having intelligence. They don't have the big thinkin like we do. The big thinkin indeed. Man, our troll hut trolls it'd be great to have some more stone trolls in this army. Let's prepare the way for the stone trolls. And let's make sure that our trolls... Yeah, see over here, this is where we can unlock the scrap upgrades for the trolls. We gotta have 5k to move on to this one. That's unfortunate because we don't have it at the moment. We just spent all our teeth. So let's save some teeth and get that research done. And until then, we'll work on this on second thoughts. Takes away upkeep from all of our Gobbo infantry. Not gonna hurt. Not gonna hurt at all. I guess they can be ammunition, so it reduces the upkeep cost as well. Quest issued. Discover 12 recipes. We get bloated and unstoppable. Oh my gosh, we don't suffer from the mist of rest. And we get extra strength and leadership when fighting elves. That would be pretty cool. Blacktooth's Prophecy of Ruination. A secret recipe is revealed now. 500 scrap. Holy crap. That's a big mission, though. It says we discovered a new recipe. Let's check it out. What's in the old recipe book here? Bugman's Battered Ribs. Ooh, very nice. Very nice. Use the required ingredients and cook it to increase Grom strength. Well, what is the recipe? Bugman's Battered Ribs. Oh, spores and shrooms and beast bits. We don't have that yet. Spores and shrooms and beast bits. Does that just mean we can use any of it? So, okay, spores and shrooms, beast bits. Looks like it could come from any of this stuff, maybe, because it's calling out Centigore milk, spider egg yolk, yeah. Or no, it's this bit up here. So troll meat, and we have the shroom. But that made the awful sausage. Looks like they have the same spores and shrooms recipe, beast bits. Huh. Spores and shrooms. Okay, this one it shows me.
Now that's living.
It's funny, it says it's been discovered, but it hasn't been cooked yet. This is showing me right here. No, that's the recipe for this one.
Ugh, smells awful. Just how Grom likes it.
Would it tell me what it's gonna make if we cook it? Because it called out this one. That's just shroom and awful sausage again. Like shrooms. May just need to be a different kind of shroom. Use the required ingredients. Yeah, so it's telling me to cook it. It says we've discovered it, but I don't know. Maybe I don't fully understand that yet, but I don't see how it is I'm supposed to do anything about it. Yeah, look at these gits. They took off running. They know what's good for them. I'm going to take one last look for Skarsnik here and see if that git will show up and see if we can confederate him.
Words out of your mouth better be a good reason for me not to kill ya.
He hasn't lost his status here at strength rank 53, so his armies are somewhere. The question is where? Perhaps down here? Karak Norn? Take one last quick look, but we should probably throw some upgrades first. Let's rebuild our heap of shiny stuff, and at Massive Gut we can build the Stone Troll Quarry. Ooh, nice income. Oh, yeah, get those sweet Stone Troll action. Honestly, may trade out that building for another now that we have access to the Stone Troll Quarry, but nevertheless, it's looking good. No sign of Skarsnik near Karak Norn either.
Greetings. How can we fleet?
And he's just lost a battle because his strength rank just plummeted. So he may have been there the turn before, and we've just lost him. I hate that I'm wasting time without accomplishing any more this episode, but you all asked me to try and get Skarsnik and bring him under control. I'm attempting it. Look at this, gits. The pointy ears are calling in the goat boys to come do their work for him, but you know what? We need some ingredients. We are certainly in need of ingredients. And so we're going to come down here, and if Malagor would be so kind, we could use some Centigore milk and many other things. Just a stinky fungus. What do we make with this? Just more shroom and awful sausage when we combine those two. Wyvern stew. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Let's keep seeing what we can come up with here. Fishy shroom burgers. Oh, yes. Looks delicious. Absolutely delicious. Misty Mountain Broth. I mean, that does sound fantastic. Oh, this is going to be so much fun. I can't wait to cook more stuff. Oh my goodness. This cauldron. CA, please. More of this type of content. CA, please, more. Look at this. The beast gets. They just come straight for me. They want a piece. I must admit, he has, by Beastman standards, a fairly impressive army. But the auto-resolve knows what's going on here. They know better.
Another day, another...
Grom was hungry. He's eaten man flesh, both peasant and the darker Empire variety. I guess grittier, if you will. The peasants are a little more farm-raised, while there's a little more metropolitan taste to the Empire troops. Grom now wishes for some beast meat, and you can see him eating greedily before the battle even begins. And Malagor was kind enough to bring the beast meat to him. Didn't even have to search for it. To be fair, The Bray Shaman's army was pretty mighty. Quite a few Minotaurs. Units that to some could be considered quite fierce, but I mean, are they really going to be able to match up against the great gut of Grom and his super goblins? Malagor can cast all the vile tide he wishes. There's no tide other than the green tide, and it won't be stopped. You can see the river trolls over here with the fishy Tittlemuncha trying to hold up this flank. Actually, sorry, the fishy Tittlemuncha was over here in the middle, having a copious vomit on some beastmen. You can see Grom now having joined the combat right in the middle. And the fishy Tittlemuncha is just waiting for the right moment to summon old Blacktooth's revenge. The stone trolls on the left smash their way through the Minotaurs and through the Ungor herds. And this leaves really kind of just the core of the army for Malagor left. He's used his mighty magics, but it's not enough to stop Grom, and Grom just comes plowing through, straight past the two monsters, and continues to chase and destroy all the Ungor herd. Both the spearmen and the raiding parties. Blacktooth's revenge is summoned, and now he'll get a true and proper fight against another huge monster. You can see Tittlemuncha and Blacktooth's revenge gonna go toe-to-toe here with the giant Cygors. This is what happens when you think you're large and mighty, but then you run into Grom's Wa. You realize that nothing is large and mighty compared to Grom's Wa. And Malagor is quickly destroyed. You can see Grom himself in the background killing hundreds of beastmen by himself. He may be fat, folks, but that doesn't mean he's not dangerous. You can see the number of kills on this guy. It's pretty absurd. Using his Axe of Grom, slicing through, closing in to near 200 kills. And the beastmen are utterly destroyed and driven. Well, that's a lot of tasty gits. We're all stocked up on fresh meat. We got Empire meat. We got Bretonnian meat. We got Beastman meat. So, you got a little bit more gamey flavor. A little more farm flavor, fresh farm flavor with the Bretonnian peasants. And with the Empire, a little bit grittier, a little bit darker flavor to it, Touch of gunpowder for flavoring. It's delicious. Absolutely delicious.
Get 'em killed! The immensity!
Boy, that's unfortunate, Beastmen.
Now's the time.
Looks like you all joined the wrong war. Anyway, I've tried long and hard to get Skarsnik this episode. He's not showing. I had said that I might do a WA, said that I wanted you all to pick it. In the end, it looks like, despite changing his mind many times, his great immensity wants you to help him decide with the big thinking on where we go with the WA. Because the call to WA is here. We have a lot of scrap. We have a lot of upgrades to make. Let's have some fun with it. We're going to need some new units, new unit names, and want to hear from you. Anyway, hope to see your comments. HeirofCarthage signing out for now, and his immensity will be back soon with more action in Total War Warhammer 2.